On May the 1st, 1924, Morton Salt Company introduced iodized salt commercially to America for the first time. May the 1st, 2024 marks the 100th anniversary of iodized salt in America. But have you ever wondered, why is it in there? Should we even eat it? Can it be dangerous? Well, we'll explore this and so much more on A Moment in Food History with Chef Lance. Iodine is an essential element in our diet. In the late 1800s, researchers began understanding the connection a lack of iodine in the diet has to goiter, a thyroid condition marked by thyroid enlargement. In addition to being essential to thyroid function, iodine is required for the normal brain development of babies in the womb. According to the United States NIH website, prior to the early 1920s, the U.S. population historically fell short of taking in enough dietary iodine. Particularly hard hit was the so-called goiter belt region of the Great Lakes, Appalachians, and the Pacific Northwest. This was due primarily to iodine deficiencies in the soil. Early efforts in iodized salt began in Switzerland. In 1918, a Swiss general practitioner, Dr. O. Bayard, conducted the first trial of iodized salt on the people of a very isolated mountain village, giving it to families for 6 months. The trial saw significant reduction in goiter for the people of that village. As a result of Dr. Bayard's work and other research, in 1924, the Swiss government mandated the iodization of salt. Switzerland became the first country to implement a national program of iodized salt distribution. Because of World War I, the exchange of medical literature was temporarily interrupted between the United States and Switzerland. As a result, U.S. research into iodine deficiency was conducted independently and simultaneously. In 1917, Dr. David Marine, a U.S. physician in Ohio, began testing iodine supplementation to schoolgirls. The result of this led to the conclusion that iodine supplementation significantly reduced goiter in those treated with iodine versus those who were not. In 1922, Dr. David Cowie, chairman of the pediatrics department at the University of Michigan, proposed to a Michigan State Medical Society thyroid symposium that the U.S. should adopt salt iodization to eliminate simple goiter. His work with the society over the next few years was instrumental in the history of the U.S. implementation of iodized salt. In 1924, the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, and the U.S. Public Health Service convinced the Morton Salt Company to add iodine to salt in order to prevent iodine deficiency and promote public health. And so, iodized salt first became available on grocery store shelves in Michigan on May the 1st, 1924. The Morton Salt Company's website states, because goiters were a common problem, Morton develops iodized salt, which addresses the problem. The Food and Drug Administration later stipulates that the salt be labeled with the message, "This salt provides iodide, a necessary solution." Now, the Morton Salt Company does take some marketing license by saying they developed iodized salt. However, they were the first to commercially introduce iodized salt to the United States market. So what are the dangers of iodized salt? Well, interestingly, while iodine reduces goiter, overconsumption can lead to other thyroid problems which can impact metabolism and overall health. Additionally, high levels of iodine in the diet can interfere with the absorption of other nutrients such as calcium and iron. However, in my unscientific opinion, overconsumption of iodized salt is unlikely due to the small levels of iodine in commercial salt. Is there an impact on the culinary world with iodine and salt? Well, iodine and salt can affect the taste and textures of certain food, especially when used in large quantities. Iodine can cause a metallic taste in cooking when it is heated to a temperature around 150 degrees Celsius. That's about 302 degrees Fahrenheit. Iodized salt impacts lactobacillus fermentation. Think sauerkraut. So iodized salt should not be used in those applications. Because iodine and other common additives to salt negatively affect canning, pickling, and fermentation, Morton Salt Company makes a canning and pickling salt that it states on its website is for use in canning and pickling, cooking, baking, marinating, and brining. It has nothing in it but pure salt. Do we even need iodized salt now? Well, although iodine deficiency remains a large health problem globally, in the United States, the issue is largely eliminated because much of the U.S. food supply comes from many parts of the world that has adequate iodine levels in the soils. However, certain populations, such as pregnant women, are encouraged to take prenatal vitamins, which include iodine. Personally, while I will use salt that contains iodine if it is my only choice, as a cook, canner, and sauerkraut maker, I will steer clear of it when buying salt. Well, thank you for watching this very first moment in food history. If you want to learn of the history behind your favorite food, please let me know in the comments below. And join me next month when we take a look at the beginning of one of the most iconic foods in America. And remember this, a day in the kitchen beats a day of working any day. We'll see you next time on the Chef Lance Show.